I am very glad to see you guys here, and I think I am looking at probably some of the most strategic people in the industry. Why? I've been in this industry a long time. Been running a firm that I founded for heading towards 30 years, and I do declare, as a lot of well-intentioned people in the industry that get in their own way as far as making their business work, and one of the things that I was after, and we were talking just a few minutes ago about this, is that how do you have something? Is there a tool, a technique, a process, a secret potion that you could use in a firm, architects, engineers, contractors, that would make the firm better, that would make the firm healthier, more potent, more powerful, that would actually make the firm better and more efficient, more effective at becoming valuable to their clients? Is there something that you could do that would have that effect? And I believe we're on to that. And it's the simplest thing in the world, even though when we look around, there's probably less than 5% of the firms out there that have any sort of metric-laden way of collecting information about their clients and what their clients think about the process and the products that their firm is using and producing. Less than 5%. You go, boy, you know, when you look at the list of who's the most respected professions out there, architect and engineer, they're always in the top 10. And you go, wow, you guys, that's quite a business. That's quite a thing to be. And you go, how do you guys do on profit? Well, you know, we barely maintain an average profit that keeps us afloat during recessions. As a matter of fact, this last recession, we lost about 10% of the architectural firms. Gone. Gone. They won't come back. We lost a whole bunch of people that just got tired of the industry and just said, you know what, you guys can't even keep your head above water. We're out of here. It's not a point of pride to be able to say, yeah, we have an incredible product. We aid the quality of life for all these people out there. But in many cases, we can't keep our business going. We can't create the kind of income, the kind of profit that would allow us to have the best training, the best tools, the best environment for our people to exist, much less to prosper. So part of me, as a recovering architect, I'm just convinced that there's no reason that we shouldn't charge what we're worth. There's no reason that we should have other problems put upon us that we obviously have to share with our people, our staff, of not being an especially adroit business model. Now I know I'm preaching to the choir and that you guys are the exceptions to the rule. But the preponderance of all the other firms out there and the way that they operate and the profitability that they're used to operating at and find acceptable lead them to processes and policies and practices that undermine our ability to also be seen as credible and valuable. So what we're after here is to find a way, without any trickery, to actually let some information which has previously been hidden to rise to the surface and become visible, and then to become incorporated in the way that we do business. Why? Why not? Is anybody here getting younger? Wow! I need some of what you're drinking. But we only do this once, right? I mean, we only have one chance to do this. I mean, we don't get any do-overs here. So my sense was, why don't we find a way to inject some information into the stream, into our decision-making brain that we hadn't had before, that is not only pertinent, but is very potent as far as us understanding what kind of effect we're having with our clients, as well as co-workers, collaborators, other co-conspirators in this big thing that we do. Okay, so my goal this morning is to try to look at, why would we do this? Why would we do this? Well, to paraphrase Stephen Covey, begin with the end in mind. And if we're doing that, and not that you can tell that the success of my firm was not from me. But let me show you what we did after we started infusing this feedback tool and infusing the information it was producing through our firm. Let me see if everything's working here. So we were named the Zweig White the best architectural workplace in the U.S. The number one. Now, I mentioned that because that award came from surveys that went out to all of our people confidentially. We didn't get to see them. The leadership didn't get to see them. And they went back to Zweig White and they asked questions about what's it like to work there? How are their policies? How are their practices? Well, what's the culture? And so they named us number one. And this is after we're using all this feedback stuff. Because I've already bumped into like half a dozen people who say, yeah, my people don't want to do it. Yeah, we don't have the time. And the clients, they don't want to do this crap either. No. And I'm going, you know what? Maybe you're presenting it in a way that maybe there's a better way to present. Maybe you're talking to the people that have something else going on. But there's a lot of people who will go, I'll be happy to tell you what I think about what you're doing. As a matter of fact, I'll ask you guys for a survey. I'll send you a survey. Say, what do you think of what I showed you today? And you can tell me. And you'll tell me all kinds of stuff. And it will be all true. They will be your perceptions based on your expectations about what I did and what I showed you and what I gave you and how valuable I was. And I will love to see it. And you guys, is there any reason why you wouldn't want to tell me that stuff? Particularly if you thought we were going to do this every year and you kind of went, yeah, let me tell him what I'd like for him to do maybe next year. Okay. So then they also named us the number one best collaborative workplace. And I think that was primarily because once you get this information circulating about what everyone's expectations and perceptions are, then suddenly we know each other better. And I know you better. And when I know you better, I'm more inclined to more easily and more often communicate with you. And when I do that, now we're collaborating better. Bingo. It's just a relationship. It's just a little familiarity kind of greases the wheel and suddenly we can communicate easily and often. And last but not least, we were named to PSMJ Circle of Excellence. Now, any other firms in here, members of the Circle of Excellence, PSMJ? Well, they give you a whole bunch of questionnaires. You fill them out, and they sort of rank you on 20 different parameters about how your firm's doing. And everything from profit to retention. And so we got named into it, and I said, so where do we fit, relative to other firms in all of this? And they said, well, you're top 2% of profit. And I'm going, you know what? This stuff makes sense. Because when you find out your value to your clients, overwhelmingly they're telling you that you are exceeding our expectations, which in part means, they expected to get their money's worth, and you're sort of delivering more than they paid for. And once that information goes to your people, as it did to mine, my people raised their fees because they knew they had earned it. All right, let's get started. So I'm encouraging us to think big, that we aren't just working on ourselves, getting some feedback, that we're actually working on our firms, and we're working on the industry. Because who else is going to do it? It's the people who look at it and go, you know what, there's got to be something better. There's got to be a better way to do this. So what I'm suggesting is that what we're after, this isn't feedback. What we're after is better awareness. We want to know what people want. I want to know what you want. If I know what you want, I can work with you so much more easily because I know what she wants. And I can find a way, mutually beneficial, to where she can get what she wants and I get what I want. Bingo. This whole thing about the world's all topsy-turvy because no one's going to compromise. I'm not going to compromise. This is not compromise. It's negotiation. If I find out what you want, and then I tell you what I want, we work together to where we both get our needs met, our wants met, bingo. So shift the whole dynamic from compromise, which is conflict-oriented, to negotiation, which is collaborative and mutually beneficial. And flexibility. if you could have a magic pill that you could slip to all your people and they would become more flexible to deal with their clients in different ways. So if one client wanted communication this style, okay, we'll text all the time. Okay, somebody else wanted a communication, I like email, I like phone calls. Okay, fine, I can be flexible. That flexibility and the encouragement of it is tremendous in having your firm become more able to respond to different clients and different clients' needs. So how do you promote that? Well, the transfer of feedback, the transfer of that kind of information creates the awareness, which creates the flexibility. Okay, so why are we doing this? Beyond this big picture. Well, I gotta tell you, when we won those awards, and I thought, it's because we started doing something very simple and very healthy, the feedback stuff. It felt great. It felt great. Our entire firm, we celebrated. Because the way we won it was clean and healthy. It wasn't some sort of, okay, well, we did something that we can't possibly maintain because it wreaked havoc on everybody. This wasn't like everybody worked 80 hours a week and we made good money. No, this is just straightforward, healthy stuff. And the industry could use some success, because I'm just blown away every time I sort of see this and go, you know what? Why is that? And what will push it upward? So, we're all smart people. So we go, all right, do you sit by and let it just keep happening? Or do you do something? So I say, hey, let's become better. Let's get the information that we don't have, that when we do have it, will make us smarter, more strategic, and more able to deal with things in a mutually beneficial way with our clients and our staff. Heck, man, I hit 60 this year, and I'm not really the marathon guy, but you know what? I want to succeed. I want to see something come about because of the way I help position things that makes people's lives better, that gives them better satisfaction. Wow. What else is a leader's job? Okay, so why not improve our value and benefit to our clients? The old joke about, yeah, well, this would be a great profession if it wasn't for the damn clients. Or the guy that says the perfect job is you get the commission and you get on a sailboat and sail around the world and draw the thing up and you arrive back and hand them drawings. When you see photographs of beautiful architectural spaces, and I'll just pick on architects right now because I am one, there's hardly ever people in the pictures. Hardly ever people in the pictures. When they talk about great projects, they don't talk about great clients. Oh man, it was great working with this person. They're things. So let's look at our clients and go, what if we were more helpful to them? What if we had a better relationship with them? Why not? We focus all the time on efficiency in our office. We're just talking about this. Doing the thing right. Got to do it right. Okay, and knock it out, and let's hurry up. Come on, let's hurry. Come on, there's deadlines. Okay, I got deadlines. I need this, and suddenly we're all just like this bunch of frenzied, varmints out there. Just okay, get it done. Oh. You know what? Don't we really make our money by being effective? We don't make our money by just doing something kind of fast. As a matter of fact, that tends to create errors. But by being effective, that's talking about doing the right thing, figuring out what's the right thing, what's the best solution here. That's creativity. That's what we do. It's the best effective solution is what we're after, not just the fastest way. It's about care. More than speed, we care for our clients, right? And if you were on the client side, put your client hat on for a minute, if you felt that somebody cared for you and were trying to find the best solution for you, wouldn't you be drawn to them like a magnet? Yeah, as long as they're human. This is more about agreements than deadlines, relationships. And it's about helping instead of hurry. When we think like this, we get treated like this. And we price ourselves like this. When we get the information that says, you know what we have is a relationship with all these clients, and they're great relationships, and they add something to our lives, then we start acting like that on the right. And you know what? The firms like the right-hand side, they're not only a better place to work, but they get paid better and faster. Okay, so let's just talk about a few of the benefits here. Firm benefits, client benefits, and staff benefits. Last thing I'm proposing is that this feedback thing only aids the leaders in the firm. Now for the firm, you do tend to get better fees and additional services once you find out what the clients really think, in most cases, not all, but in most cases. And you tend to get an enhanced reputation because guess what? You focus on being more valuable to your clients, the word gets out. And you tend to get stronger referrals. If for no other reason, then you can look at this data and go, which client is just in love with our firm? Because don't you think they would be a pretty good client to use for a reference or referral? Of course. Don't take the name off the bottom of the list. There's some work to be done down there. And liability. They say that if you are gathering this information from your clients, that you will find out when they begin to get a little disgruntled, a little displeased, long before they are so pissed off that they're going to sue. And that if you can find that out, you'll do something about it. And probably stall off a massive, complex, very expensive problem for your firm. That's what the liability companies say. There's one company that actually gives a discount on their premium if you follow this process. Because they're going, it'll reduce the size and frequency of claims. What's not to love about that? All right, client. The client benefits here. People go, the clients don't want to give me this information. It's like, oh, BS. Are you kidding? The client goes, look, I want you to help me. I want you to design this thing for me because I need this thing and I need a really good thing here. So I need you to help me. And so if you ask me during the process, don't wait till the end, you ask me, what do you like about what I'm doing that really works well? And what can I do differently that could really be more valuable? I will tell you. Because, shoot, man, I want you to do a great job on my project. It's my project. You're going to leave after you design it. I'm here. I'm stuck with it. I want you to do a great job. I will give you the information because you will become a better performer. You will become more valuable to me. You will do a better job on my project. The client gets better performance. The client gets better effectiveness. We know more about them, more about their expectations and perceptions. We know them better. And efficiency. You know what? If you know what to do that's most valuable, you will tend to not do the things that are least valuable, and you will tend to do less. You'll get the project done because you'll know what the most important things are to do. And finally, communication. Better communication reduces liability. Okay, staff side, and we're going to show, I've got a few slides on the details here, but better satisfaction. If they know how they're doing, better satisfaction. Millennials and Gen X's, I've got a slide on those. I've got some very compelling words from others about what they think about feedback. Retention, it affects the 3 top reasons why people leave. Career, when you hear that the younger generations are going to move through multiple careers during their career, and you think about, boy, how do I keep them here? And while they're here, how do I keep them really doing a good job? The secret's right here. And compensation. A rising tide floats all the boats, right? We improve our firm, everyone becomes more valuable. Okay, so I'm proposing that, why do we do this? Well, let's step way back. I'm going to tell it's the right thing to do. It's the smart thing to do, the best thing to do, and the easiest thing to do. And I'll show you why. Moral, not to get too deep, but I mean, really, I would say it's the right thing to do because the client needs our help, right? You know, I need my help. I need your help. I have a problem. I need a solution. I got to get this thing done. You agreed to help. I went, yeah, I'll help you. And they paid me. So I like doing a good job because I told him I would. He needs me. Paid me to do it. So if we ask them how to help best, that helps us fulfill this kind of obligation. This is the kind of thing that produces peace of mind in us. We always are unsettled when we feel like we haven't really met our obligations. This helps us meet our obligations very precisely. Strategic? Well, it's the smart thing to do. If you track each client's expectations and perceptions, you know how to become most valuable to them. That's smart. That's what they want. Client expectations, most of them are hidden from view. And the ones that you do see, they change over time. So the only way to really track stuff, in my opinion, is to constantly check it. Because you will not only see where they're at, but you'll also see patterns and trends. And then you will get to know them even better. They expect us to discover this. They don't think it's their job. I mean, maybe somebody's got different clients than the ones I've been exposed to, but they don't think it's their job to teach us all about their expectations. They think it's our job to discover this. And I'm going, well, if that's the way their world works, if I can respond to it and work to that, I'm miles ahead. Profitable? Improving your value to your clients increases their loyalty, and unless you just insist upon keeping your fees down, it gives you palatability to improve your fees. Worked in our firm because the clients were saying, you've earned this. You've earned more than you're charging. And earning it, it's a pretty good thing. Remember that old commercial? The guy goes, what was it, Smith Barney or something, Morgan Stanley? The guy's like, yes, we make our money the old-fashioned way. We earn it. You know, and everybody just goes, yes, yes. Okay. It's the easiest thing to do because if you ask them, they will tell you. At like 10 times the industry average, they'll respond and give you the information. And then you'll know. And knowledge is power. Not knowing is dangerous. Not knowing what we don't know, that's deadly. So professionally, Deloitte recently did a study. It's in the new issue of Harvard Business Review. And they said, hey, we've been trying to get our performance improved in our organization. And I'm a worldwide organization. And they said, we finally figured out that our current process, which kind of has annual reviews and whatnot, and they said it really doesn't work. And we've been spending 2 million hours of man hours on this thing, and holy smokes, man, it doesn't even work. So they went, you know what? And the biggest thing is that instead of focusing on measuring what happened in the past, we want to find a way to actually promote better performance in the future. So we need to have more of a live, real-time thing. And one of the things that they said was they want their leaders to now have a weekly check-in with their people, a weekly check-in to see how things are going. This is a feedback session, live, weekly. And basically, real-time feedback, not just for Gen X's and millennials, but even us baby boomers. Real-time feedback is much more potent than annual reviews. Now, I'll make that statement. I bet nobody here is going to raise their hand if I say, who here loves the annual review? Not one. Oh, I got one. So, my sense is that, and everybody's got their own view of this, is that the annual review, you're talking about stuff that for a lot of people happened so far in the past, it's barely within memory. And you don't tend to walk in as a leader and say, oh, I'm here for them to change my mind. You come in with a preconceived idea. And so it's not really one of those discovery sessions. It's really more of a, okay, they're going to try to persuade me this, and I'm going to stick to my guns. And so it's the dynamics, it's horribly ineffective if you're trying to produce a better performance. So what produces that? Real-time feedback, to where as you're going through the motions, you're sort of guiding and tweaking. You're helping. You're supporting. You're encouraging. Okay, so asking, collecting feedback, and telling, giving feedback, powerful communication. Well, guess what? This thing called the Johari window, it basically says if you're asking for feedback, this area here grows. I'm going to explain them in just a second. If you're giving feedback, this area grows by shrinking this area. On the asking, it shrinks that. And here's the basic dynamic. So when you ask for feedback, this is called, hold on a second, I got a few more things here. This is called, what I call is your blind spot. This is what you don't know about you. And in many cases, you don't even know you don't know it. But when you ask for feedback, you get this information. You begin to see more of, oh, I see how I am to others. So you go, I know more about myself. And your blind spot shrinks. Your blind spot gets in the way of good relationships. This is your facade. This is what we don't want people to know about us. This is where we go, oh, if they knew that, then they wouldn't like me. Then if they knew that, you know, whatever, then they wouldn't like me. So we try to hide this stuff. Usually we don't keep it hidden too well. Usually people know it. But when you give feedback, you reduce what they call your facade. And what happens is exponentially, this area, which I call the arena, grows. Your arena, the size of your arena, determines the health and productivity and satisfaction of all your relationships. Your ability to grow your arena is paramount to a wonderful life. And life is not just work, but, you know, home too, all the other stuff. So the asking for feedback and giving feedback, and remember, when you give your clients a chance to give you feedback, you're letting them reduce their facade. This is all super healthy stuff. Okay, because it's where relationships prosper. You know, who doesn't like a good relationship? And professional collaboration. And that's team building. Better collaboration, better teams, it enhances our firm prosperity. I mean, this is all good stuff. It all leads to the same sort of healthy, glowing, profitable spot. Okay, I'm going to run through this kind of quickly. How's my time? Halfway? All right, so some of you have probably seen this thing. Early on, we sort of went, hey, what are the benefits? And can we sort them out to where they kind of make sense and it isn't just us trying to remember everything? So we affectionately call this the pie pieces, which is as clever as the client feedback tool name is. You know, it's like, well, just say what it is. You know, don't try to be clever. Just say what it is. So the pie pieces. So on the left, we have the human systems benefits, which you'd recognize over here. And on the right, we have what we call the mechanical benefits, the pieces on the right. Now, I would suggest, it works with our firm, that if you can do well on just a few of those pie pieces for your firm does well. If you do pretty good on like all of them, your firm does great. If you can really be hitting on all cylinders on all of those, ooh la la, it gets to where you feel like it's running itself. Okay, so let's run around this kind of quick. Profitability. If you measure your firm's value from your client's perspective, not what you think, because you will almost always undervalue your firm. Almost always. And I'll show you in a minute. You guys, I'm sure it'll be different, but I've got a poll here. You can tell me. You can ID issues to improve value. Process, assignments, training. If you're getting this information, you will see firsthand from your client's perspective what to do to become more valuable. And then you can set fees more by value. And your people will have more of a tendency to collect those additional services that often go uncollected. Okay? Liability. You can identify patterns of problems. In other words, when you see the feedback coming in, you're starting to go, wow, you know, when Bob is working for Tom, every time they get to the construction documents part and they're trying to do this and the pricing's coming in, it's always a dogfight. It's just always a You go, wait a minute. She works with him a lot better. Why don't we try, what if she came in during that phase and see if maybe whatever it is, the chemistry, he reminds him of his sister or something. So you can begin to see patterns and to begin to deal with them. Plus, you can build evidence of value. You know, one of the things that the liability insurance guys said, they were surprisingly fun guys. I thought they were going to be a bunch of actuarial statisticians, you know, but they were fun guys. Drink, ooh, man. So they, you know what AI stands for? Who knows? AIA, American Institute of Architects. The alternate term is Alcoholics in Action. Not that it applies to anyone in this room, and I'm an architect. So, but they say, build evidence of value. They said, if you are collecting feedback from your client, the client elects to sue. He goes, you let me walk into court with a bunch of feedback from that client saying you're doing a great job. He says, I am much better armed than if I have nothing. He says, plus, if you're finding out when the client's going to have an issue, you can find these problems earlier when they're much easier to solve. They're a little minor irritation instead of a major calamity. Marketing. Who's marketing in here? Aren't we really all? So, confirm value to new clients. Independent confirmation. So you go after a new client, you get to go, hey look, all right, here's everything we've told you about how great we are. We'd love to do your job. But you know what? Here's stuff from our clients. And here's what they say about us. Independent confirmation. It's got to be potent. Plus, your existing client, who here is taking the client out for lunch and said, all right, well, hey, thanks for hiring us. I just wanted to find out, how are we doing? Anybody? How are we doing? You know? Well, I did it, and I thought it was good stuff. And then I finally had to realize that it just showed them that I don't know. I had no idea. So I'm going much more potent to be able to go, let's get that feedback. Let's go meet with that client. Let's take that feedback to them and go, thanks for hiring us, and thank you very much for helping us become your expert. Boy, look at all the feedback your people give our people. It looks like it's working very well. A couple of problems right here. I think they were taken care of. The scores came back up. Just wanted to see, here's a copy for you. I just wanted to see, was there anything that you've heard different from this? How much more proactive and professional is that versus, hey, how are we doing? You know you're on top of it. Leadership. Not that I know a ton about this, but identify and match the staff members' skill sets to each client's needs. It's easy when you have this kind of data. Without the data, you could be putting the same people, the wrong people, into the same slot over and over. So if you say, based on the results, the actual results, not our intentions, no matter how noble and strong, based on the results, we're the best assignments. Powerful. Plus, based upon the results, where's the best training? Okay, so let's be simplistic. Let's say we got some deliverables people, production, and then we got some relationship people, client focus. So the client people, what do you train them in? Anybody? What do you train those client people in?
Communications.
Production, but just enough to where they're not blithering idiots. Just enough to where they can interact with the production people, right? What else? Who said it?
I said communication.
Communication. All right, now split the atom. Dive deep. What do you train them in? They're your client specialist. They're your potent client specialist. They're people. They're dealing. How about negotiating? How about the art of negotiating? How about the art of reading body language? You talk about communication, give them some real tools. What would you rather have, a group of good generalists or a group of high-powered specialists? Which is the more valuable firm? So in other words, when you find out what they're best at, as demonstrated by the outcomes of their efforts, that tells you a lot about how to train, how to assign for the best results. And guess what? If that's what they're best at, if that's where they produce their best results, isn't that where they're most satisfied? If you make me go and shoot basketball, and then you let me go hit some baseballs, I can hit a baseball. Oh man, I'd much rather hit those baseballs, knock them out of the park, well, knock them a long ways, let's say, than have to go shoot basketballs. So let me do what I do best and I'll be most satisfied. As a matter of fact, I'll even do probably more of it for you. The objective, if we have these objective metrics for real-time performance tweaks this feedback loop, then these people get better and better. So, it's the information. All right, performance, measure the actual results with the clients, improve accountability, improve focus on clients. Because this Elton Mayo, great story behind that. I won't go into it right now, but he says, whatever is measured improves. This is the reason Weight Watchers is the #1 weight loss organization in the world. That's their whole theory right there. Yep, come in once a week, get measured. And they go, well, if you're going to measure me, then I guess I got to do something about it. So if the firm is not measuring client satisfaction, enough said. All right, retention. Make talents visible. If you're collecting this information, wow, you see that she's just great with clients. Wow, how'd you do this? Knocked it out of the park again. Wow, look at this, 7s. Congratulations, nice work. And this happened yesterday. Know instantly when applause is earned. Great work, great work. And great job on the so-and-so. Yep, look at these scores. Amazing. And also, know specifically when support is helpful. So this information is coming in, you're getting your alerts, you're going, boy, Michael, there's a low score. What do you think we ought to do? You need some help? Those 3 things are the top 3 things that are triggering key staff to leave. When you look at the list of why do people leave, and here we are in a talent war, trying to find people to hire, they leave because their talents have not been recognized, their accomplishments are not applauded, and support is not offered to them when they need it. Top 3 reasons why they leave. Not about money. So you go, how in the world am I going to pay attention to all my people like that? Ryan can tell you. Set your alerts to where when the scores come in exceptionally high or low, get an immediate alert. That's right, now you know. You know right where to go. Wow, you just knocked it out of the park. Great job. And personally, I'd do it in front of a bunch of other people. Why? I'll show you. I mean, relationships, there's no way that it doesn't always come back to relationships. The power of a relationship, the strength of a relationship, the healthiness. And the tendency to think that in this relationship that's building, if I keep working with you, keep hiring you, that you're actually going to keep making this relationship better. You've got a way, this little feedback loop, that actually lets this thing keep getting better. What's not to like? Clients want you to do a great job on their project. We forget about that. We kind of go, nah, clients don't want to be bothered. They want an effective relationship with us. We often do things that almost seems counter to the messages that we would send to someone if we were desiring a relationship with them. We almost avoid them. You know, I'll go to some people in my office who are not client people, and I'll go, how's it going with the client? How's it going with the project? They go, I don't know, haven't heard anything. So what, did you send the drawing? Because yeah, I sent it, but I haven't heard a thing. Nothing. I emailed it over to them. I go, well, let's give them a call. Well, I don't want to bother them. Well, let's see what's going on. Well, I'm busy. These are good people, but they're not client people. You go to a client person, you go, hey, how's it going with the project? You're hearing stuff like, oh, it's great. You know what? I was with Rebecca the other day, and you're the client. And she says she really likes what we're doing. She would like a little bit more help with the schedule stuff because they're trying to tighten up the schedule. So I told her that you were really good with that. So I told her I'd see if I could get you and her to talk. And oh, by the way, did you know what? She and I go to the same church. And besides that, our kids are actually in the same school. And isn't that amazing? It's just... And I'm going, you're hooked in. You're communicating, you're understanding, you're developing a relationship. And it's not just, what do you want me to do? Oh, how cold. It's more like, how can I help? How can I help further? Not understanding what a client wants, expects, or thinks is the biggest impediment to a design firm's success. The biggest one. And yet we all, not the people in this room, but most of the firms, they just kind of leave the blinders on and just go, hey, I don't have time to find this stuff out from the client. Besides, the client would be bothered if I asked. Creating client loyalty, watch this one. American Institute of Architects, back to the AIA, they built this thing and they said, you know what, unfortunately, the client's perception of their design team's value deteriorates during the project. And deteriorates more significantly, this is the value, deteriorates more significantly usually at points when the project is priced. You know, cost estimate came in, my God. Anyone ever experienced that? One or two? Yeah. And so we're going, holy smokes. So you actually end up with, they say there's a slight uptick in appreciation or perceived value at the end of the project, right at occupancy. But often we end up in a worse position. All you marketing people are going, oh no, we got to quit doing projects so we can maintain our value. But and then the CFO goes, no, you can't quit working. So the AIA says, all right, here we go, there's your problem, and you know, I don't know why those clients are acting like that. You know, it's like, well, you got to work with them. So unfortunately, when we first started talking about feedback, the firms that were doing feedback, they said, yep, at the end of the project, we send a survey, find out how we're doing. We talked to a group in Dallas. I'm sure it was nobody here, but it was an engineering firm. We went and sat down with them. They were great guys, and they were going. We had developed a reputation. We were the feedback guys, you know. And he goes, "Hey, we got a big problem here. We send surveys out, and we're trying to get some feedback." I said, "Let me see your survey." And he goes, "Well, here it is. It was like 7 typewritten pages, you know, 8.5 by 11, and each page had. Can I borrow this? Had like one question up here, like describe in detail the extent of the situation, and another question down here, and the client was supposed to like fill in all this stuff like a thesis question, you know, 7 pages, 14 questions." I said, "Oh, wow!" It was like all this elaborate stuff, and I'm going, "Well, so how's it working? I mean, what do they say when you get these back?" I said, "How many of these have you sent?" They said, "Oh, like 30 of them." So what comes back? What's the information that's coming back? So we've never gotten one back. And I was going, you know what? We often try the wrong way. No matter how well-intentioned, no matter how kind-hearted the effort, it's the effect, it's the result to measure, because that tells you what's the effective process to get what you're after. So we said, don't wait till the end. Beyond the format of the thesis questions there, don't wait till the end. That's the autopsy. That information you're asking for cannot be used to go back and fix what happened in that project and make it better. It's too late. What we say is, ask for feedback. Put your bravery badge on, big boy pants, and ask for feedback when you have the pricing exercises. Oh yeah, because you know what? Almost always, it won't be as bad as you think. And you'll know where you stand. As a matter of fact, I started asking for feedback from the very beginning. Who here has sent a survey after the proposal has been submitted? Yes. So we have, and we often get invited to amend our proposal. And usually we fluff up the scope a little bit per their request to make it fit more exactly what they're after, and we tweak our fee. I'm going, we're talking. We're already communicating, you know? And I'm going, hey, look, they also know that we're flexible, and we will ask for and respond to their comments. So what we say is, you know what? If you're asking the clients about the process, and the clients are saying, yes, here's the part of the process I like, here's the part of the process I'd like to tweak, and so you do some tweaking according to the client's feedback. So your project process is now being somewhat co-authored by client and by you. So the client feels intrinsically a little ownership towards that process. Do you think the client is more or less likely to fault that process as being wrong? More or less? Less. Of course, it's his or hers. So So what we say is, use this to your advantage. Once your client places a high value in your process, and a few surveys, and you're going to get some good scores, almost every case. If you don't, then you've got a problem you need to know about, and you'll have some data with which to approach it and probably repair it. There's a tendency for them to maintain that view, conformational consistency, and they tend to tell others. Very powerful concept that once you start asking somebody for information and they start telling you what they think about your process, they tend to be that's more memorialized in their mind as that's how they feel, that's how they think. They'll tell others. It's powerful. If you never ask them, then there's always kind of a nebulous kind of, how do you feel about your architect? I don't know. He never calls me. I'm worse than the engineers. All right. Here we go. How often you got to vote on this one. With your raised hands, how often do designers significantly exceed a client's expectations? Huh? 10%? Hands up. 25? Okay, got one. 40? 40? I've got a few more, about half the room. 50? Half the time? Well, you know, I've already said it once. That's it. That's Ryan's number. It's a fairly old number. It may be better or slightly different, but look at that. Yet we price ourselves like that isn't true. Not you guys, but. How often do clients restore a high valuation in designers after mistakes are addressed? Ooh, we made a mistake. Now we addressed it, but we made a mistake. Screwed up, goofed up, messed up. How often do they restore a high valuation? 10% of the time? Hands again? A couple. The skeptic. 25% of the time? What, you read ahead? 40%? 50%?
Even higher.
Even higher. Why would you say that?
Just from the research that we do. When you make a mistake and you deal with it, fess up and correct, the loyalty factor soars.
You're right. Because from what my sense is they go, you know what? She's not only good at the job, but when since no one's perfect, makes the inevitable mistake, she actually gets on top of things and we fix it. Oh, wow, it's great working with her. Relationships. Okay, basic expectations. Now you may go, hey, what you guys are cheaping out on the surveys here. There's only like 6 questions on a lot of these things, and they're so redundant. It's like, come on, I need some sophistication here. Hey, you see my survey? I got 2 questions on each page, thesis style. We're going, you know what? This surveying is not some sort of a drill down, let's find out exactly what's going on. This is more like a radar that sweeps out when you're on a boat to where you go, ding, there's something there. So you know where to go drill down. You know where to go check something out and check it out. Because you can't be everywhere at once. So what we said was, the first thing you want to check is a relationship. Why? As any of these marketing people will tell you, that's what gets you hired. Your technical expertise doesn't hurt. But ultimately, it's a relationship, particularly the second time you get hired by the same client. Right, Rebecca? Yeah. So the thing we find out about, what do they think of your helpfulness, your responsiveness, and your quality? Those are all very subjective things. Boy, if you're being helpful to me, then you care about me. I like that. Boy, if you're being responsive, wow, you're taking your time to get back to me quickly. Wow, I must be important to you. And this one, anybody ever read the book Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance? Oh, killer book. Killer. He goes, we can all be defined by how we define quality. Well, when you say, did it have quality? That person gives you every bit of their it has what means something to me. That's what you want to know. Now, on the deliverable side, so this measures how well the relationship's going in 3 questions. This also tells you where to bore down if there's an issue. On the deliverable side, we got budget, help managing cost. Most design firms think, oh, he wants me to lower my fee. I go, quit messing with your fee. Your fee. Have you ever seen the pie chart that says, here's their project cost? And they go, where's the design fee? It's right there. And I go, where's the construction fee? Rebecca, what is that, like 60? Huge piece. And then they have, and the real estate people who make commissions, they're like 3 times the size of our total fee. And I'm like going, why do you think your fee is the thing that they think of when they think of their project cost? It's everything else. Your fee, if they hire a good guy who is more expensive, you could save them more money on their project costs than you could ever cost them. We forget that. Remember that efficiency side and effectiveness side? That effective side figures out how to save them money. Okay, so on this side it's budget, help managing their costs, their project costs, schedule, help managing their time, accuracy, do the thing right. This comes into play primarily in the construction phase. What I would suggest that you do is, here we go, Rebecca. Rebecca is with Brassfield Gorey. Great outfit, obviously the builder phase of things. So when we start a project, particularly if it's with a builder when we start the construction phase of a project, with a builder we don't know well, we send them a survey that says, and it's in our library, that says, what do you think of our drawings? Because if she says your drawings were crap, we're getting ready to have a hard time during the construction phase. But if she says they're crap, I go, full of errors, that kind of thing, then I want to sit down with you and your people, and we're going to fix it right now before we start construction. You're looking out up ahead for the things that are going to sink your boat later. You're avoiding them, like icebergs. Okay, so we're asking in terms of the other person's interest. You don't go, hey, aren't we a great firm? No, you're going, how well is our firm's process helping you manage your project schedule? It doesn't say, am I a bad person? No, this isn't about personalities. The chemistry works in, but you're really asking the questions about process. The critical factor to track is what the client thinks, here we go, relative to their expectations. And I know there's some crazy people out there, but whatever they are, that's what they are. I got some crazy clients. I got some clients that are so crazy, I just love them. And you know what? If you can link in with that craziness and you can respond, see, she's laughing back there, then all of a sudden, what I find is they're loyal as the dickens, and they love to go out and drink and talk and dine. And I'm going, hey, let's do it. Okay, so project team members. If we're trying to enhance, staff flexibility, this information improves their focus on the client. We keep going, yeah, what do you do? Oh, we help our clients. Yeah, well, is there anything going on in your organization that helps them, that makes them want to focus on their client and actually try to figure out what's going on, what the client wants and needs? Plus, it improves their satisfaction, this information. So if they know that there's different needs for different clients, and they also know they have the satisfaction of feeling like they're doing well, they will become more flexible. Big plus. Up. And whatever is measured matters. So if you're measuring this, then they know more that it matters. If you're not measuring, you say clients are important, it almost sounds fraudulent. Okay, but my staff doesn't want to collect feedback. Yeah, I keep hearing this, and it's usually a baby boomer, but it's like me. The millennials, this is from Bloomberg, expect constant feedback on their performance. They seek constant feedback and recognition for their work. They perform better and stay at a firm longer with constant feedback. Millennials, you know what just happened last week? They are now 51% of the workforce. They're here. Gen X, a little bit older. Most people in this room, I'm probably the only baby boomer. They thrive best on instant feedback so as to build their personal sense of value. They're comfortable with giving and receiving feedback, and they follow leaders who give constructive feedback. Bloomberg, look it up. It's powerful stuff. Now, if we deliver it like this, hey, I found out what they said, and they don't like you. So, yeah, it's your fault, so you have to die. I love Sally. Sally and I work together. It's like, he said that to a stranger. You're right there. But if you're going, wow, I saw this stuff that came in, boy, the low scores there. I don't know, what do you think? What do you think we ought to do? What can I do to help? So this feedback isn't something that you brand on somebody and go, okay, you're the bad one. We got to figure it out. Hey, everybody, she's the bad one. No, we're going, hey, what is that client after? Let's sit down and figure it out. What do you think? Okay, the most constructive feedback is real time. When the event happens, you can't wait. You cannot wait. And it's tied to how something was done, which is your process, and also what was achieved, which was your product. Who said this? Malcolm Gladwell, who wrote Blink. These guys know what they're talking about. Okay, last but not least, I think I got like, what, 3 minutes? So beginning with the end in mind, I would say if our tool, and I think we're still making it better, we got room to grow. If it can show the information that it collects, mixed with some of your financial information to give you a better understanding of the outcomes of each one of your projects, then maybe that information can be used to make, as Malcolm Gladwell will say in Blink, you need an immediate intuitive understanding of what's going on. Without that, most of your people will miss the boat. But something that gives us an immediate, graphically intuitive visualization, representation of what the heck is going on will let us help understand what to do about it. Okay, so here's what we did. And some of you, I'm sure, have already seen this. We call this our quad chart. Our tool will build this for you. It takes like information out of Deltek or your project profitability percentages, which it displays on this line. And this is, when we do this in our firm, we put the average percent profit for all the jobs that we did in the last quarter. Sometimes we stretch it back to last year. You know, Deltek just pops that out. You know, here it is, average percent profit of projects. And then we go put every project here up to the highest profit and the lowest loss, stretch those things out to where every project is sort of relatively shown compared to that average profit. So we sort of say everything off to the right, that was kind of premium profit. Everything to the left is sort of like, you know, less than. And then we go, let's put our feedback scale here and do the average feedback score that project brought in, map it in accordance with the average profit. Okay? You got me? So that if the average feedback score kind of went, you know what, you didn't really meet my expectations, there were some problems. Okay? Or if it said, wow, you guys just knocked it out of the park up here. Where's my button? Okay. So what this does is it sorts your outcomes into 4 categories. It says, you know what? If the client says you did a great job, but you didn't price it too well, or maybe the old gremlin of additional services or whatever, scope creep, all ate it up, there you go. Client says you did a great job. Unless you told the client you didn't do well financially, they don't even know. But we call that the potential. Palatable for a fee increase in many cases. We call this the expert quadrant. That's where the client's going, you did a great job. And the financial person is going, you did a great job. Wow, how did you do that? Down here, now remember, if you're just looking at financial outcomes, then these and these would be on the same line. But these are where you made a great profit, but the client went, I didn't like that, didn't work. You know what, there's problems. This, not to oversimplify, this is where lawsuits come from. They went, I paid for it and didn't get it. And if all you're looking at is profit, you're going, hallelujah, let's go party. Down here, we call this the mismatch. This is where the client said it didn't really work too well for me, and the financial person is kind of going, you lost money. And so this is where you fire the client. The SNPS did a great white paper, and it said that when you fire a client, when you sort of kick one to the street that has not had a good experience with your firm, they tell 5 people about your firm. And it's not flattery. And they're out there. So what we say is, hey, look, take the data off these dots. Was it deliverables or was it the relationship? take the data off the dots, go to the client, improve the relationship. You want to hear my grossly oversimplistic leadership method? I go, okay guys, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take these dots. You ready? First, you go up until you cross the line, and then you go to the right. Up, and then to the right. The then word's important. And you know what? Yeah, first you've got to build your value in the client's eyes, then you've got something to talk about with the fee. But more important than that, let's sort this thing out by clients. Last but not least, this is probably an underpriced but very much appreciated set of projects. But when you sort them out like this, you can kind of go, well, heck, you know what? We probably need to raise our fees there. We certainly can. Over here, look at those purples. Oh man, sweet spot. That's where you probably are developing a niche if you didn't intend to, and probably very much your marketing efforts need to be aware of that. These dark blues, uh-oh, that's a problem. That client is not happy and paying a lot of money to be not happy. Over here, this is where things aren't really working too well. But you can at least look at it and go, what do we want to do about it? Do we want to get out of that market? Do we want to get away from that client? You can also sort this by design team and go, whoa, look at this, these light greens. It's like, what's going on there? I bet the member of the team who's doing these and the member of the team who's doing that are two different people. And you go talk to them. You go, hey, so what happened here? What do we do about that? And you let them tell you their strategy to deal with this. And basically, if they're down here, you got to push them up. You got to deal with the feedback. Once they're above this line, I say keep edging up and to the right, up and to the right. We start splitting it. By now, a lot of our stuff ends up over here, and we have to sort of break this into its own 4 quadrants and do the same thing again just to keep an evolutionary kind of, you know, measurable movement apparent. Okay, so why would you do all this? I don't know, somewhere between it's the right thing to do. It feels good, it feels like success, it feels like something that you'll be proud of at the end of the day. Plus, it's deadly competent in producing a more successful design firm. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.